Well, let's see here. I might not be Morgan Freeman, but this is... Classic Gamer Reviews.
Stand by for Titanfall.
Stand by for Titanfall.
If you follow anything gaming related, then you probably heard of Titanfall, the game that everyone loved before 90% of them even played it. Many were calling it the COD killer, but all fish killing aside, COD never really did it for me. While I do appreciate it as a series and to each is their own, I wasn't too fond of its community, as from what I played it mainly consisted of 1, people who bothered me, or 2, people who have claimed to have sex with my mom.
Why are you cheating on me with 360 no scopes for life?
I can't even remember cheating on you with him. So I mean, at least you know he wasn't that good.
I'm gonna kill her.
Well, maybe if you paid more attention to me, you wouldn't so much faster.
You did
It
this!
has nothing to do with it, you goddamn wench.
And while it seems that some of that community has followed over to Titanfall,
1v2! 1v2!
I still found myself genuinely enjoying Titanfall. That being said though, a large amount of small problems keep it, at least to me, from being a truly enjoyable experience. While I don't own the Xbox One version because I'm poor, I was able to pick up the 360 version, and aside from graphics, it provides the exact same gameplay. So for those thinking about picking up the Xbox One version, this review is still worth watching. With the exception of the training exercise in the beginning, the experience you get is strictly multiplayer. The game features a campaign in the sense that, well, it says campaign, but all it really is just multiplayer matches with a few set pieces going on in the background and people talking over the radio. This is upsetting because it's the exact opposite of the really well done intro cutscene. I just feel as if they tried to at least make a proper campaign, then it really would have paid off. But hell, I've bought tons of games and never even touched their single player. Play me! Play me! I swear to God, Battlefield 3 single player, one more word and it's in the ET Atari box for you! Oh God, no! The campaign is so poorly done and ass backwards that it doesn't even matter if you lose the match. The game continues as if nothing happened. And with a lackluster campaign mode, this meant that the whole experience rode on whether or not the multiplayer modes were good. And for the most part, they are. For those unfamiliar with the concept of Titanfall, you control a pilot who uses a machine strapped around their back to maneuver around the battlefield quicker and aid you in your attack against enemy Titans. You can even become a Titan. And you know what? It really reminds me of one of my favorite shows, but I just can't quite put my finger on it. The game features 5 modes, with variations like capture the flag and domination, but most of them revolve around the same premise. Kill others before they kill you, both on foot and in Titan. Sadly, however, for all the emphasis on Titans, they aren't really that fun to play as. Part of the problem is the fact that after the first 2 minutes of a match, pretty much everyone will have a Titan. Because of this, the wow factor of a Titan died off after my second match. It's kind of hard to feel special or powerful when at the end of the match, everyone has a Titan. I truly do think that the game would have benefited from having Titan drops be restricted to kill streaks. The matter of the fact is that having a Titan really isn't empowering unless you get one in the beginning, and even then, you can be taken out relatively easy by an enemy pilot on foot. I originally thought that being on foot would be a death sentence, but the game does an absolutely amazing job with pilot versus Titan interactions, to the point where a good enough player can take down a Titan by themselves. And this is where I believe the game truly shines, as I feel the game sells itself kind of short with being a pilot. I generally had more fun when I was a pilot, jumping off walls and maneuvering through the environments than I did when I was a slow, bulky Titan. Running across a wall and then jumping off to shoot at a Titan in midair is just a badassness that is very hard to top. Even facing off against another pilot is fun. That's not to say I didn't enjoy playing as a Titan, but I feel the game just had more to offer when you were on foot. Both pilots and titans have extra abilities, such as a pilot cloaking themselves or a titan launching a cloud of electric gas to blind and kill enemies. Added to your list of abilities is what the game calls burn cards, in which you can use 3 of in a match and last as long as your pilot is alive. These do a plethora of things, some not really being game changers, while others can truly be of great use, such as a permanent cloak, which makes it easy to fuck around with enemy titans. Hey fuckface, I'm over here! Sadly, however, the great variety of both perks and burn cards doesn't carry over to the game's selection of weapons for pilots. The majority of the diverse and creative weapons you will get to use are reserved for when you are piloting a Titan, with one of my favorites being an electricity gun which literally explodes enemies into a pile of guts. Pow! I'm usually not one to complain about the amount of weapons in a game, but the game only has one cool pilot weapon, the smart pistol. All the other primary weapons aren't anything special and a lot of them feel the same, but I will admit the kick attack was fun to use, albeit a bit overpowered. Take that, and this, and some of this. And some of this. Why someone can survive a shotgun shot to the face, but a kick instantly kills them is beyond me. But it is hard to question the logic when your character is so skilled in the art of kicking that he can just kick the ceiling with ease. If you kick someone from behind, however, like pretty much every other game out there nowadays, you perform an assassination. Unlike every other game out there, however, this game makes it look like you're about to be kissed by the enemies, so take that as you may. Pucker up, motherfucker. Mwah! Despite the shortcomings of weapon selections, I still found myself on foot more often than not, and some of the levels are more well suited for this than others. The more Titan-focused levels forced me to use my pilot in different and creative ways, so that was something that I really thought changed things up. At the moment, Titanfall has 15 maps, and they're all unique enough to stand out on their own, but none really stand out as a classic map that will be remembered 5 years from now. All these levels, though, are littered with friendly and enemy NPCs alike, and this does a lot to make the battlefield truly look and feel alive. Grunts will stay in formation with each other and actually hide from Titans, which I found really cool. Despite the large amount of NPCs, the game only has a max of 6 to 12 real players, but I give props to the team of the game for not feeling obligated to have the standard 16-player multiplayer matches. I felt that the inclusion of bots in the game was necessary, as having any more than 12 human players would just turn the whole map into a huge unorganized clusterfuck, like this. Oh shit, what's going on? Oh fuck! Oh god! Alright, well at least that's over. Oh god! That being said though, I really do wish there was the option to play with the bots off. Because at the time of this review, there isn't, and it's annoying when 9 times out of 10, the enemy you're shooting at is the NPC. For an online-only game, I found myself interacting more so with the computer than I actually did with any real-live human players. And this is because they are in every single mode. The only time that I really felt that I could easily find other players is when I would lose a match and have to make it to the evacuation ship, which, may I add, is always a blast. The lack of a turn bot on-off option kind of fits in with one of my main problems with Titanfall. Like the pilot weapon selection, there's just a massive lack of options. Things that should have been included with the base game are not present at all. As of now, you can't vote for the next map to play on, and a lot of people are upset about the lack of an online leaderboard, and while I'm sure some of these issues will be addressed in the future, I can't help but feel ripped off that they weren't in the base product, especially when I'm paying $60 for a game that doesn't even have a single player campaign. But even if the small kinks were worked out, I still feel like this would only be an above average game. In no way, shape, or form do I think this is the Xbox One's must-have killer game. If you don't have an Xbox One, but you absolutely need this game, then I'd recommend the 360 version, or if your PC can handle it, then the PC one. That being said, regardless for what you get on, there is still a good amount of fun to be had, despite the amount of things lacking, but the game just isn't there yet. I believe that down the line, if there ever is a Titanfall 2 with a bit more tweaking and an actual campaign, this could become the COD killer. But as it is now, while there is fun to be had, there are much better options out there. Hey, I finally got past 1,000 subscribers and we're going out to celebrate. My treat. If you want to know everyone at the party and not feel awkward, then check out Jason Stevens, who did my intro voice, by clicking his link in the description box. Then check out Freddy Sal's channel because he did my intro. You'll be the coolest person at the party though if you also check out Classic Gamer Reviews out on Patreon and consider a small donation. But while you're watching the video, why not subscribe and like this before you go? That way my family lets me sleep inside. And some of this.